Fire away.
Okay. Where last we left off, all of you had come up against the elemental prince of fire, Imix, and were very quickly found to be on the ropes before Isn't used the power of the Fates card that he drew from the deck of many things earlier, causing the summoning of Imix to have never occurred, resulting in a much easier, much more watered-down final fight for published content. Involving the fight against the Fire Prophet, her pet dragon, as well as a Fire Myrmidon, which you all handily dispatched. You were also ambushed by an undead creature, once again, this one having large bony claws for hands, and almost lost Isn't into the lava. He almost sunk into it with the dragon. Yes, sunk. He sunk into the lava.
Did it sink? No.
It didn't sink completely. I'll tell you right now, the dragon's pretty sunk. Because he sank in the lava. But after finishing this out, you opted to take a quick rest via means of Liamon's tiny hut. And over the course of this, you were contacted by drow while resting in that portion of the caves, wearing strange garb and wielding an unknown weapon. And you came across a familiar drow in the way of Jarlaxo Baenri, who provided you with a piece of parchment and offered you a job, essentially, working for him within the city of Waterdeep. He did make mention to you that it may be wise to not use your last name for the time being, and if possible, never return to Menzoberranzan. You opted to follow your friends to the surface, having traveled to the surface for the first time in your entire life, into this strange world full of wind and cold and warmth and grass and greens and all this stuff that you've never experienced before. The bulk of you opted to wander over towards the Abbey, where the druid you rescued, Teresiel, from the depths of the fire cult, had asked you, or specifically Teagan, to follow to. She, through her own blessing, opened a portal into the Fey Wild, where Teagan alone met with the Queen of the Summer Court, Titiana. She shared with you that a daughter of hers had been kidnapped by the Queen of Air and Darkness, or she who shall not be named, and requested that, if possible, you traverse across the Fey Wild to find and rescue her daughter from the clutches of a new winter night that had apparently taken hold of her. Teagan, you opted to return back to the material plane from whence you came, along with Teresiel, who shared with you, after you conversed with the rest of your party, that she would have to wait until tomorrow before she could reopen the portal into the Fey Wild. In the midst, you opted to spend the rest of the day at this abbey. This abbey, by the way, is within Golden Fields, which is this large expanse of farmland that is tended to by a number of monks and druids who profess to serve Shantae, who is the goddess of all things that grow. While staying within some spare rooms, there was a screech and a shout, and you were all startled awake. You began to grab your things, your weapons, your armor, as these two large mechanical spiders burst into the room that you were staying. And Kurt, they seem to be fixated especially on you. As we begin tonight, I'd like everybody to roll initiative. There we go. All right. We begin the round with Kent.
All right. So Kent is going to run to there. Oh, hold on. Let me just make sure. And I'm going to turn around and cast Frostbite on this mob.
All right. Con save. Don't think that hits.
No.
All right. Jumping out of bed, you run into the middle of the floor, giving yourself a good angle, and as you release the simple cantrip from your hands, you watch as it simply shimmers across the metallic body of the spider and then fades and melts away, as if nothing happened. Tuck, you're up.
Are you muted?
No,
Yes, no.
thinking.
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage. All right. Taking the staff out from underneath you, you pole vault across some of the bunks and manage to whack this thing across some of its glowing red eyes.
Stunning strike, so con save.
All right.
Nope.
Damn.
I was going to say, with the con that you just rolled.
All right. You managed to cause this creature to reel back using the chi flowing through your body. Somehow you cause the metallic creature to kind of stagger a little bit. Yes, 23 hits. All right. You whack it across some of the bits of its metal with a well-placed strike. You think you watch as bits of gears begin to fly, or at the very least begin to be exposed by one of its legs.
Okay. I'm going to go up here.
All right. All right. That one doesn't hit. This creature raises one of its metallic claws. Doesn't matter. 13 or 14, it won't hit.
Yeah.
It raises one of its metallic claws, and it just blocks you. Will.
Will sits up in bed, bleary-eyed, goes, too damn early, and he leans over, grabs his mandolin, starts playing it like Spanish guitar style. Ding, 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 ding. Then he goes, ding, ding, and I hit this one with the Ray of Frost.
Okay, make an attack roll with advantage.
Ray of Frost? When did you learn to do that?
I don't know. I was dreaming about it being really cold.
All right, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage. All right, taking the mandolin out, you begin your jive, and you aim the point of the mandolin over in the direction. You watch as a beam of frost just somehow coalesces on the end of the bar of the instruments and shoots out towards the metallic body of this creature.
And yeah, no movement. I'm just gonna kind of sit up against against the headboard of the bed, and still with the covers covering my legs, and just playing my mandolin while this goes on.
Kaz up next.
I'm actually like that.
Sure.
Kaz going to use the dash action to move here.
All right.
And he's going to be done.
Okay.
Oh.
Next is these guys' turns. The bottom one's stunned and can't do anything. While blocking Tuck, he watches the other metallic spider kind of reaches up, and from the center of its mouth, it opens up, and you see some sort of like cannon, and it shooting out of that cannon straight at you, Dr. Connors. If I can reach it, I just can. Is one of these. I need you to make a con save. You are paralyzed.
Hey, I'm going to re-roll that.
Because I'm lucky, go for it.
Okay.
You are not paralyzed.
Cool.
How often do you get to do that?
Three times a day.
All right. Isn't you're next.
All right, I'm going to run up beside Tuck here.
and I'm gonna give this thing the whip whaps.
All right, drawing your swords, you leap off the bunk, run up just beside Tuck, who's being blocked. Taking out Mariner's Revenge, you stab it into a weak point in the metallic armor. That does hit.
There's that, and since I am beside Tuck, I will sneak attack.
All right. You watch as bits of wire begin to kind of, and there's bits of sparks that begin to form in one of the legs as you stab it into.
All right, and then I'm gonna bring Tinder Strike down as well.
Nice. Roll damage. After opening a weak point within one of the legs, you take Tinder Strike in, drawing Mariner's Revenge back. You take this dagger, and you watch as the fire begins to emanate from the central point, and parts of the leg look like they're beginning to combust on top of themselves.
Fuck yeah.
It staggers a little bit, but it still stands strong. It has many other legs to support it. Kurt, you resist you resist the effect of this beam. Luckily, what do you do?
I'm going to attack the same one that my two allies are attacking. I'll use my bow.
All right.
There we go.
Nope.
Okay. The snake's going to attack.
Your arrow flies out the door, and you hear a "Ah!" Okay, now, your snake does manage to get the hit. I will add one key difference between the Revised Ranger and the one in the Player's Handbook, I should say the Beastmaster Ranger, is that the Beastmaster Ranger in the Player's Handbook, at level 6 or 7, something like that, the beast's attack are counted as magical for the purposes of overcoming resistance. The beast, for all the bonuses and benefits it gets from the Revised Ranger, never gets that. This creature, in particular, on top of being immune to poison damage, is completely immune to non-magical damage from piercing, slashing, or whatever, bludgeoning.
Okay.
So your snake does despite hitting, does no damage whatsoever.
All right.
Teagan, you're up next.
Okay. I'm going to move to here. And then I'm going to hit this guy with Thorn Whip.
Okay.
As soon as I clean up my spell list here.
No.
Yep.
You get the whip, you think you try to get it around one of the legs, but it doesn't manage to quite catch hold. You pull back and nothing.
That figures. All right.
Kent, you're up at the top of the round.
Kent is... I am going to cast Magic Missile at this gentleman.
All right.
Oh wait, I need to... Guess I would be attacking with advantage on that, wouldn't I?
Magic Missile always hits.
Right, but wouldn't the damage matter? I guess it wouldn't matter.
It's 1d4 plus 1 regardless.
Yeah, good call, good call.
All right. Conjuring up the force from within your energy, you unleash against the stunned creature who staggered. You watch as he, still trying to steady himself, staggers back a little bit more as each of your missiles just impound into the metallic body of this creature. You done?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Tuck, you're up.
How's my thing?
That hits.
Sending strike, con save.
Okay. You take the staff, whack him in the spot that isn't had opened up.
Oh,
Barely saves.
Yeah.
All right. You think you
no.
get him?
No, my spell save is 16 now because I raised my wisdom.
All right. It's stunned.
That's beautiful.
It looks like it'll shake it off for just a minute, and then you watch as it has the familiar sort of hunched over look. Remember, the attack at 24 hits. The attack is advantage for what it's worth. Okay.
It's fine.
You'll whack it again after getting your stunning strike off.
I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to punch this guy.
Okay. Yep. Like a master on the battlefield, you whack into the metallic body of these creatures. Their armor means nothing to you.
I'm going to go over here, and I am done.
Okay. Will, you're up next.
All right, Will's sitting up in bed. Oh, go ahead. So,
Sorry, the bottom one's not stunned anymore. Just
Yes, thank you.
no problem.
Will's sitting up in bed, looking down at his mandolin. You go, bing, bing. Wait a minute, I've got it. Bing. Oh, here we go. Zing. Cast Ray Frost again. This time on the other one.
Okay. Yes, that hits. All right. While tuning your mandolin to the right thing, you do a power strum, and once again, this shot of ray, or this ray of frost, comes shooting out of the tip of the mandolin straight at this creature and pounding it.
Will's like, that's kind of weird. I never did that before. And he stays in bed.
Okay. Kaz up next.
Kaz gonna move back. Let's see, to about here. Alright.
Ka, doing what he can to nurture a chipped fang, begins to retreat. Alright, first things first. Alright, the original one who shot doesn't get his back. But the second one is going to fire his paralyzing beam at you, Dr. Connors.
Who did you piss off?
I'm guessing it's Otto Octavius.
Alright, that would cause you to be paralyzed.
Sure.
Okay. You're paralyzed for 1 minute. You can repeat the saving throw at the end of your turn.
Okay.
Okay. Isn't you're up next?
I'm gonna run down here beside Tuck again. Actually, I lied. I'm gonna run behind this guy.
Sure.
And I'm gonna hit him again with Mariner's Revenge.
Yep, that hits.
Alright, and there's that. And then
Drawing
there's
your
sneak attack.
Alright. You duck under this body of the stunned creature, whacking your way over to the legs of the other one who just shucked free, to where Tuck has now been occupied, and you open up another showing of wires within the leg of this metallic creature, same spot.
Alright, and there's Tender Strike again.
Right down in. Not as strong as the one in the initial creature, but you do watch as bits of sparks and fire begin to fly. It staggers a little bit, but it stands strong.
Damn it, okay.
Kurt, go ahead and repeat that con save. You're no longer stunned, you're no longer paralyzed, but it is the end of your turn.
Okay.
Teagan, you're up next.
Alright, I'm gonna move over here. And I'm gonna hit this guy with Thorn Whip again.
Alright. That just misses.
Oh, come on. Alright.
You almost get it around his leg, and he lifts it up and bats your whip away. Count, you're up.
Quick question.
Shoot.
Obviously, we do not know where these two creatures came from just yet. Do we hear anything? Like, are they communicating with each other, or were they communicating with each other in any way?
Make an insight check. Judging by their actions that they're taking, and by the design of them, there's nothing that suggests that they're communicating to one another. By your estimation, these are constructs that have been assigned a specific task.
Okay. Well, with that in mind,
Man, I wonder what a construct named Retriever could be assigned to do.
I am going to cast Watery Sphere on this.
Okay. Give me just a sec. Okay. You're casting Watery Sphere on the one that's stunned?
Yes.
All right. Trying to remember if stun means he has any disadvantages. I don't think so. Automatically fails strength and dex saves, so yeah. Alright, he automatically fails to save, so he gets caught up in this. I will say with a 5-foot radius. He's a pretty big guy, but let's see.
Well, it's based on what size creature he is, so.
Yeah, just big enough that it kind of holds him in.
Okay. And I'm just going to hold that there.
Okay.
And that's all I'm doing.
Alright. This creature is completely engulfed by the water, and it is considered restrained. And Tuck, you're up next.
I'm going to hit the one I'm next to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That'll hit. We'll got the 29, but that'll hit. Alright. Into the opening that isn't opens up, you try to beat up another one.
con save.
Can he roll higher than a 5?
An 8.
Ah,
These guys have plus 10 con saving throw modifiers. I'm annoyed that they get stunned at all. Alright. Yeah, 14 hits. Or 13. Yeah, he'll take that 14 points of damage. Nah, that doesn't. You black him twice across one of the legs with your staff. He watches bits of metal begin to kind of fly off, and then you try to follow through with an arm strike, and it just raises the tip of its arm as you're hitting it, and it blocks that one.
good enough.
Alright, and the one up top's not stunned anymore. Will, you're up.
Right. Will, still playing around with his mandolin, says, "That's really cool." He sees the watery sphere and he's like, "That looks like fun. Let's try this." Zing! And he fires the ray of frost at the one in the watery sphere.
Alright, make an attack roll.
Wonder if that's going to do anything to it. Oh, is it still with advantage or no?
No. We'll count the 18, though.
18, okay.
So... At least I don't think it is restrained. Actually, I take that back. It is still with advantage because it's restrained. So it'll be 25, and yeah, that'll hit. Go on and roll damage.
Anything funky happen with the water and the ray of frost?
Funny enough, as Kent's focusing on the spell, and you watch as the Ray of Frost gets embellished in there, you watch as bits of the body of this centralized creature begin to freeze.
Cool. He stays in bed.
Alright. Kai's up next.
Sorry, Kaz's just gonna move to in front of me, and if anything tries to come within melee distance, he's gonna jump on him.
Okay.
That's it.
Alright. The fellow around Tuck, and isn't, it regains his paralyzing beam. It's going to fire it once again at your direction, Dr. Connors.
Okay.
Alright, you just beat it. You shake it off. And then the one to the north, I think, is going to use his action to try to free itself from the sphere. So I think he'll have to repeat the strength save. He's going to make it, I'm going to say, with disadvantage, because parts of him are getting frozen because of the Ray of Frost. Yeah, he's still stuck in there. And he burned his action to do that. He doesn't have anything he can do as bonus action. Alright, I guess he's done. Isn't you're up?
Oh, you know what time it is.
Miss.
Damn it.
That'll hit. Alright. You cry out, "Oh, you know what time it is?" Ding, 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 ding. Ricochets off the metallic abdomen of this creature. You're like, "Fuck!" And then you get in with Tinder Strike. You watch bits of fire begin to emanate from the body. Alright. Kurt, you're up.
I'll attack with my bow on the southernmost one.
Okay. Yeah, that'll hit. All right. Taking an arrow from one of your sheaths, you aim it, and you watch as bits of one of the central eyes of this creature just begin to shatter like glass. It reels back. You watch as it's being really badly staggered. Anything else?
Nope, I'm done.
Okay, Teagan.
Alright. Being annoyed that my Thorn Whip isn't working, I am going to cast this straight north right through both of them. Maybe. There we go.
All right. The one who's restrained by the sphere will have disadvantage. So we'll start with him. Still succeeds on the save, surprisingly. And then the normal one will also succeed. So they'll both take half damage. But he watches bits of the lightning begin to kind of shoot an arc across their bodies, and they shake off. It seems like they shake off the worst of it, but they're still pretty badly injured. Especially where the openings have been created on the legs, you watch as bits of sparks of metal and fire begin to kind of fly from them. It looks like some of the legs on these creatures are about to give out, especially in the one to the south. Kent, you're up.
Let me just see. Can I tell? Does it look like they were both hurt fairly decently, or no?
The one to the south looks like it's more hurt than the one to the north.
Okay. Well, while maintaining my concentration, I am going to cast Cone of Cold at the two of them.
Okay.
I will be sparing my monk and rogue friend. Hold on. Cone of Cold. Bam. Come on, big rolls.
All right. One up top saves. The one below saves too. So
The
they
one
will
up
take
top should probably roll with disadvantage.
con save, not dex.
Oh, it's con? Oh, I thought it was dex, Killi. I'm sorry.
So half damage, 42 divided by 2, 21. So they'll both take 21 points of cold damage. And you watch as the watery sphere, even while you're concentrating on it, becomes that much more frozen. And it's actually beginning to get a little bit harder to see this creature as he's trying to shift around in it.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, by the way. I thought that was dex all the way with Cone of
Just
Cold.
remember, if you're trying to freeze them, they got to con through it.
Yep. Tuck, you're up.
I'm gonna hit the one next to me.
All right. Yep.
Do it. Con save.
Okay.
Fine.
That misses. You get the first strike in. You watch as bits of the eye begin to be a crack of a couple of its metallic eyes. It raises up the other. It raises up the other arm to block the second strike, and then as you're kind of holding him in a parry, you follow through with your fist right up its chin. And as you watch, as you finish through with the chin, you watch as its head rears back. You hear a final, and its legs go flat, and it dies on the ground, or at the very least becomes whatever constitutes dead for these creatures.
Is the other one still stunned, or what is it?
Restrained.
The other one's restrained.
Restrained. No, okay. I'll wait here.
Okay. Well, you're up.
Will's still tinkering with his mandolin, and he goes, I wonder if I play it in this chord and flat. Ching! And he ends up casting this on his mandolin.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh fuck, way too bright!" Ah! And he pulls his sleep mask down over his eyes.
During the strike, you watch those of you who are in this otherwise dark room as it begins to light up, as Will seems like he's struggling with his mandolin for the first time in what seems like a long time. Ka, you're up next.
Yeah, God's just gonna ready to jump on someone if they come near him.
Okay. As you're watching this creature within the center of this sphere, you hear a He's going to try casting this. And as you're focusing on the sphere, he just disappears from it.
Okay.
And given the context of that spell, yeah, I guess you're actually out of combat because he's not going to be able to teleport direct. Well, hang on. Actually, I take that back. He knows where you are, so you're not out of combat. He just shifts out of this plane for the time being. Isn't, you're up next.
I'm gonna walk to the center of the room. Make sure I can go that.
Before I forget.
Go to here, and I'm gonna ready my swords. And if anything comes within a proximity of me, I'm gonna hit it.
Okay. Kurt?
Hey, I'm going to go to the center of the room. And if anything comes within proximity of me, I'm going to hit it.
Teagan?
Actually, I lied. I'm going to go to the center of the room and try to pull a bed with me.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and hide under the bed using hide in plain sight.
All right.
Oh shit, that's funny.
You drag a bed to the center of the room, and all of you watch as Kurt just ducks under the bed and somehow completely obscures himself from view. Kent.
Brilliant. Masterclass.
No, my turn.
Yep.
Teagan.
All right. Well, not that I was already thinking about doing this ahead of time, but I was going to cast this and hide where I'm at.
Okay, you duck behind a bed and hide. Kent.
I imagine he just like lightly stands in the corner. He doesn't hide in anything. He just leans up against the wall.
Kent's going to drop the concentration on his spell.
Okay, like Homer Simpson against the brushes.
And he's going to cast this on himself.
All right. All of you watch as Kent just disappears from sight.
And I'm going to actually move.
All right.
That should be 30 feet. Whoop.
Sure.
This is fucking stupid.
Tuck, you're up next.
What's going on now?
I can actually see him in character saying that.
Tuck, as you finish off this first creature, you turn around, the watery sphere drops, that other one's not there, you look around, Kurt's disappeared, Kent's disappeared, Teagan's disappeared, the only one you see isn't in the middle of the room next to this bed that wasn't there before, and Will kind of with light on top of his mandolin.
And still laying in bed.
Wearing a sleep mask, still in bed.
Wearing a sleep mask, in bed.
I'm just going to sit down on the floor.
You walk up next to the bed that somehow dragged its way into the middle of the room, and you sit down on the floor next to it. Do you do anything else?
No.
Okay. Kurt, you smell old elf sit next to you.
That's
Will.
All right, Will. Hold on. cancel the light spell?
Yes.
All right, I'll do that. That doesn't take an action, does it?
No.
All right. Spiders are gone.
You watch. You saw the first one is dead in the middle of this room, or at least broken into pieces. The second one just disappeared.
Yeah, but I have my sleep mask on since my last turn, so I didn't see it disappear, right?
Well, do you still have your sleep mask on now?
No, I cancel the light spell and I take my sleep
All right.
mask off.
You don't know where you don't know where the second one went.
Yeah.
And as you take your sleep mask off, you also notice that Kent has disappeared. There's a bed in the middle of the room. You don't know where Kurt is. You don't know where Teagan is.
Like, well, Will just looks around and says, "Oh, good, that's over. Oh, and sure, and go to breakfast without me." And he just starts getting out of bed.
Okay.
Basically doing nothing.
All right, Ka. Miles.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I was muted. Kai's gonna get in bed and try to assume the position of like what I would look like if I were laying in bed, and he's gonna lay there.
Okay, make a deception check for the snake.
I can't wait to see how this goes. Hold on. Is deception dex?
Hang on.
Deception is charisma.
Charisma. Sorry,
There you go.
So charisma.
3.
Jesus Christ!
It's definitely a snake.
Fooling anyone.
Not only is that a 3, but I rolled.
Your snake is.
If that tells you how uncharismatic my snake is.
All right. Well, as you're getting out of bed, well, you're AFK. As the rest of you have kind of disappeared, as you're kind of wandering around, you hear out of the corner, right around where Dr. Connors was sleeping, as this creature suddenly reappears right on top of where Dr. Connor's bed previously was, and he uses his action to plane shift, so he's burned his action for the turn. Isn't.
I'm gonna jump on top of the bed, above his snake, and I'm gonna ready. And if he comes near me, I'm gonna hit him.
Okay. Kurt, you can just make out the metallic claws of this creature who has suddenly reappeared where you were previously sleeping.
I'm hiding. I'm gonna continue to hide.
Okay. Teagan, you're also hiding. What do you do?
I'm gonna hit him with Eldritch Blast.
All right.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I think since you're invisible, you get advantage on it.
I don't think
You would
I
get
do.
advantage. You would technically get advantage on the. You would technically get advantage on the first attack.
Yeah.
But for what it's worth, that's 27 hits. All right.
Okay. The second one.
That hits too. Alrighty. Third one misses. So you fire 3 beams all at once. Golden energy weaves its way through the bunks that make up this portion of the room, and it strikes this spider, 2 of them, causing him to kind of shake back a little bit as he's back into the swing of things. The third one just missing, striking the floor, leaving a very, very temporary searing mist before it disappears. Kent, you're invisible, and it's your turn.
I am going to fire. I'm gonna fire magic missile at the creature.
Okay. All right. From an invisible location, Will, as you're kind of peering around, you watch as just off to your left, a bunch of magic missiles seem to coalesce out of nowhere, weaving their way around the bed where most of the rest of your compatriots seem to be, and impact into the spider creature that has suddenly reappeared.
I'm going to move to there, by the way.
Done. Tuck.
This guy here just reappeared?
Yep. You're sitting on the floor.
I'm going to stand up.
That's half your movement.
He's like movement, schmovement.
Movement. Get out of the way, monk coming through.
I can still get here.
Yep.
So I'm going to hit him.
You basically backflip off of the bunk, just barely missing Isn't by barely missing kicking him in the head, and drawing your staff once again, ready into action. You swing in, you hit him hard. 16 misses. So does that.
Oh, yeah.
You get one really good strike against him. He raises his 2 claws and blocks your other 2 hits. Will.
Will is like, Gah! That's not breakfast.
All right. Yes, 27 hits. It watches another beam of energy emanates from your thing, surrounding this creature in frost.
I like it.
All right. Ka would be up next.
Ka is not going to move.
Okay. Not seeing you, the spidery creature is going to take 2 of its forelegs, and he's going to attempt to stab into the monk next to him out of his opening. With both attacks hitting. You're taking 30 points of slashing damage.
Sure.
And then it's going to open its mouth and fire not a paralysis beam, but a beam of force. And I need you to make a dex save. All right, you save, and you still take half damage because this is a targeted effect, not AoE.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's a monk. He takes nothing. Oh, never mind. That's
It's AoE only.
20.
for me. It's nothing no matter what.
Yeah, for him it's only AoE. I think I'm just going to double check that while we're talking about it. Just this is evasion, dodge. Yeah, for you it's just AoE.
It's AoE. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you get this creature unleashes into you with 2 hard strikes, followed by this beam of force, and bits of blood begin to kind of form at your cheeks. Isn't it?
All right, Isn't gonna go for style points here, and he's gonna cloak a Misty Step. Gonna try and land or cloak above it, and then bring both of his weapons down into the gap between its head and its body.
Okay. If that's the case, I'd like you to roll a d10 for me.
Of course.
And I need to step away from it. I'll be right back.
All right. You teleport on top of it. Or teleport
Yeah?
above it and go for the style points.
Oh my fucking god.
Mariner's Revenge, as you slash against its metallic body, just bounces off of it.
Jesus
Tinder
Christ!
strike right into the hardest part of the metallic body.
Alright, I'm just gonna wrap my arms around it and hang on for dear life.
Kurt, you're hearing all this from underneath the bed. Are you continuing to hide?
I'm going to use my action to maintain my hide.
Dr. Connors hides under the bed. Teagan.
This got to be interesting all of a sudden. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna Eldritch Blast our little friend for now.
Okay. Miss. The first beam shoots wide, just missing Teagan. Or isn't even. Second beam hits. Alright. A little bit of damage causes him to rear just a bit. Third one hits too.
Come on, damage roll something more than a 2. That's
All right. 2 of the other final 2 beams do manage to impact its way into its metallic body. It watches a bit of the metal begins to bend inward from where the blast hit. Count, you're up.
Killi, I'm behind the dead one, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to cast Firebolt at the creature.
Mm-hmm. Go for it.
Yep. Firebolt.
Just hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
How do we do that again?
Click on the firebolt within the chat channel. It's just the name of it.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. 23. You watch as bits of lightning and sparks begin to form at some of the gears as your firebolt impacts, and you think there's a small explosion that has been caused. This creature is beginning to rattle. You hear the constant clanking of gears that sound like they're beginning to turn on one another.
And then I'm going to move about 10 feet away.
Okay. Tuck, you're up.
He might have went AFK.
Sorry, I'm back. I was muted too. I'm gonna hit it again.
Okay. Miss. That one will hit. Taking your staff, you impact down on where it's beginning to spark, and it looks like it's almost about to explode. The first strike, you don't quite land, but as you follow through, go ahead and roll damage for that. You watch as the fire begins to build and build and build, and you notice this too, jumping off the last second, and you watch as the sparks within this creature begin to kind of shoot in on itself, and it just kind of self-combusts. And you're out of combat.
It's not terrifying or anything.
Killi, I would like to take a moment to closely inspect this creature and see if I can find like a maker's mark or some identifiable thing on it.
I could go for
Sure.
some Maker's Mark right about now.
Go ahead and make a perception check. Yeah, perception. All right. So as you're kind of peering through the body and piercing through the metallic parts, you do note there is some sort of metallic box inside this creature that seems like it's connected to some sort of gears within what would normally constitute maybe the spider's brain. And as you pull it out, you can see there are dots that seem to be connected through it, and it seems to just repeat itself through this box as a gear kind of turns this series of dots on this paper. You can't, just looking at it, you can't quite make it out, but what you do see is imprinted into the metal is a small message that reads, "Property of Dr. Otto Octavius. If found dismembered or injured, please return to the halls of the hunting axe."
Hey, Killi.
Mm-hmm.
The small dots and whatnot. Do I get the impression that they are some kind of language or, telling it what to do?
Not any that you would really understand.
But would comprehend languages understand it?
Possibly. If you take the time to do this, by the way, you're watching as this piece of paper just floats in the middle of the air, the rest of you, but for about 10 minutes. As you're looking at it, the language is actually a form of message coding for specific constructs, and it repeats, "Find Dr. Connors and his pet snake, paralyze, capture them, and bring them to me within my laboratory within Mechanus."
Okay. I subtracted that spell, by the way, just so you know.
Okay.
And I'm going to relay that information to the party. And would I be familiar with what Mechanus is?
Make a history check.
Sure. Hold on.
Mechanus is a plane within the Outer Realms. It is sometimes known as the Clockwork Plane. It is a plane within the realms of absolute order.
I'm going to relay that information to Dr. Connors. And
Man, I was nothing but nice to that asshole. Why is he doing this?
we did try to kill him.
I mean, sure, we tried to kill him, but I also saved his life, so evens out, right?
Well, he did double cross us more than once.
Yeah, can't change, asshole. That's fine. So we have to go to the Fey first, so I guess we do that and then deal with this.
Out of character, you have 3 roads before you. The Feywild, the path towards Mechanus, or Dr. Octo Octavius, and finding your way back to Kent's Master and possibly to the Shadowfell. And these are all 3 paths that are part of the narrative. They are not part of any of the published adventure, and are all constructs of my own creation. The
So
road.
I thought. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just thought the Feywild one was like super urgent in comparison.
Sorgo was listed that way. Although
I mean,
they're
I think,
all
yeah,
urgent
they're
in their
all
own way.
yeah, they're all somewhat urgent. Yes.
Okay, fair.
They're all somewhat urgent. The route on which you choose to take these 3, which ones you prioritize, which ones you don't, will affect the outcome of certain things.
Okay.
Dr. Connors will remember that.
All right.
All right. So in character, I guess, knowing that we have these 3 roads that lie ahead, I would still vote on helping Teagan first, because
Yeah, me too.
I don't believe I know exactly how to find my master at this particular instant, other than possibly returning to Red Larch, and we're already here. And perhaps we can find a passage to the outer planes through the Fey Wilds to reach Mechanus.
Yeah. That sounds great. Seems like we have a road for ourselves.
Anybody else have any theories or any ideas?
My reasoning for going to rescue is it's a rescue mission, and we know someone's in danger. We don't know what Dr. Octavius. He's not really holding anyone captive that we know of.
Other
Yeah,
than the
he's-
whole
he-
world.
He's just trying to take out our friend, and as your former master, we know his sights are on you, so he may find us sooner or later anyway. That's my reasoning behind it, is that we know someone who can't help themselves needs help. That's my pitch.
I agree with your pitch.
Yeah, Will's down.
Okay. While you're discussing this, a couple of the monks from the monastery begin to make their way up, and they go, "What is that?"
I kick my foot up on top of it. Fear not, we have slain the creature.
What does it look like? It's a metallic spider. Where's my breakfast?
Go
Yeah,
get
I'm
your own
pretty-
damn breakfast!
Can I dismember this spider? Take the armor off the outside of it?
Sure.
Cool, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Dr. Connors begins to dissect one of the metallic creatures. The monks who are in the doorway are kind of curiously peering around at it. You see a young woman, perhaps only maybe 17 years old, begins to kind of step forward past some of the other ones and inquisitively kind of looks down at it. And one of the older gentlemen behind her shouts, "Stay away from that, Tiffany. It ain't natural." She looks at him.
That's what your mom
With-
said.
He says, the older man says, Well, if you're quite done with the morning, I understand you have business with Teresio.
I will look at him and say, is she ready to proceed with the?
He says, she's down in the hallway eating her own breakfast. If you care to join her,
Yeah, can
while
I,
we can
while
clean
while
up
they eat
this
breakfast,
mess.
can I, like, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
While they join her for breakfast, if I have, like, a few minutes, I want to, like, run to the blacksmith really quick and try to figure out what this metal's made.
There's no blacksmith here.
Oh, I thought we were in town.
Where
We're not in
You
town,
are
are we?
you are at the Abbey
Right,
for Shantae.
right. I'm sorry, you're right. Okay.
You're basically at a church surrounded by grass, by farmland.
In that case, let's join her for breakfast.
Okay.
Yep, sounds like a plan.
The older monks are all too happy to see you exit the room, especially you, Dr. Connors, and especially you, Isn't, as they begin to kind of clean up the mess. The younger girl earlier just kind of begins to kind of poke and prod inquisitively, ignoring the warnings of the older monk as you begin to make your way down into the central room. You can see a couple of other druids within the area are beginning to eat. Looks like a hearty bowl of mixed fruits and vegetables and such. And Teresiel seems to be nibbling on perhaps an orange herself, and she hails you as you kind of approach. She says, I understand you've had a rough night.
No more than usual.
She says, the elders of the Abbey were all too keen to complain about it all morning.
Well, I do apologize for the interference, but unfortunately, we're kind of used to these interruptions in our sleep habits.
She says, have you given more thought about the rescue of Titania's daughter?
Yes, and the party is willing to traverse the Fey to try to get there faster and see if we can get this rescue, accomplished.
She smiles at that, and she addresses the rest of you, and she says, I must warn you that the Feywild is an unusual plane, and those of you without elven heritage may find yourselves altered as you make your way throughout the plains. Nothing is ever as it seems, and the entire way you will be tested. And she gives a curious glance over in your direction, and she says, and were I you, I would be especially careful.
I'll give her a curious glance back.
She says, she notes the curiosity, and she says, do you not know the history of the Dark Elves and the Seelie?
I'm afraid I do not.
She says, not to keep a long story short, no drow exist in the Feywild anymore. And were I you, I would do what I could to keep your head down, lest the more predominant creatures that inhabit the Feywild seek you as some sort of target.
I will give her a polite nod and gesture as a thank you for the notice.
She says, if you're all ready to come, I will begin the ritual.
Not quite, says Will. We need to hit town first. And in seeing the disappointed faces, Will just puts his hands up and goes, I know. Someone's going to look after the logistical side of this group.
So,
we're carrying way too much in this thing, and he kind of shakes the bag.
For your benefit, because you weren't really here to take a look at it, Golden Fields is here. Womford is burned. The nearest town to you would probably be either Red Larch or Belliard, and that's going to be a few days' travel. You're out in the middle of nowhere. At best, you can make your way to Summit Hall and talk to the blacksmiths of the Samular Order.
Yeah, but they're not going to be able to do what I need. I need to move a lot of gems. I got so many gems, but they don't take up a ton of space. All right, fine, we'll wait. It's not like we need the money right now.
Okay.
I will question Tricia. Do you have any way to help our drow friend disguise himself, or any protection that you think we may be able to offer him through the Fae?
She says, I'm afraid I don't have anything on my person itself, and honestly, as we make our way to the central court, if I were him, I would simply hide back in the trees in the shadows. Unless he has a way to disguise his person.
I'll just flick my hood up and go, I ain't no bitch.
Persona non-alpha, says Will. Very interesting.
But I'll just flick my hood up and I'll just I'll say I'll find my way.
Very well. If you're ready. And she puts down her orange slice and will begin making her way out towards a large oak tree, towards the center of the abbey.
And I will say, sounds like we're ready to begin, unless there's any objections.
None for me.
All right. So you all follow her out?
Yes.
All right. You follow her out. Those of you from a distance can watch as she begins to finish the ritual. There is a circle of magic that has been drawn. There are golden glowing runes that begin to kind of coalesce around the base of the tree. And as you begin to approach, you watch as at the roots of the tree itself seem like they just kind of rise, and there is a small tunnel that seems to create under the tree, and she beckons you all forward into this tunnel that has sprouted out of nowhere underneath this large oak tree.
As before, I will crawl through.
Okay.
I'll follow.
All right. The rest of you follow?
Yes, Will follows.
Gert, Ka, Tuck, Isn't?
I'm gonna just follow him in, keep my hood up.
Okay. I'll take the silence. Lori, you're muted. I haven't heard anything.
I've been talking, sorry.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Kurt, you follow in last behind everybody else?
Might not have his mic back yet.
Miles?
He said he stepped away in chat.
Oh, okay.
He said he has his headset on, but he can't talk, so.
Okay. I'll assume he follows through. But as you make your way underneath, she follows in last, but behind the rest of you. As you're crawling through, it feels like crawling through dirt. Originally, it's pretty earth. It has a pretty earthy smell, and it's a little rough. But as you make your way further and further, the dirt begins to feel a little bit smoother. Everything begins to feel a little bit better, and you eventually emerge, crawling out of this earthy tunnel, as trying to peel away at the dirt within this veritable forest. And this, as you make your way out, there's a serene beauty, natural beauty to this area that you don't think you've ever seen anywhere else before. And as you're kind of peering around, trying to get a sense of your bearings, eventually Teresiel will kind of take the lead and eventually lead you through the forest, not for a very long distance, before you make your way into a central sort of glade. And as you make your way into the central glade, you can see sitting around what looks to be some chairs made out of maybe some sort of shrooms or some mushrooms or something. There are what look to be some women. They all look to be young and beautiful, and they all seem to have wings, like butterfly wings. And there is one seated in the midst of all of them on an especially larger chair with a very dainty-looking crown placed upon her head as she beckons you to approach.
So I will approach, but while I'm approaching, I will kind of look around for the messenger from earlier for Tuck to see if his half sister may be somewhere nearby.
Make a perception check.
All right. No.
No, you're too distracted by the serene beauty of this place.
Okay.
So as you begin to make your approach, the Queen Titania will lean down, her golden eyes ablaze, and a gold outline around her blue sort of butterfly wings, and she says, "I'm glad you came so quickly."
As you requested, I've gathered our
Oh,
party,
never mind.
and you're going to help lead us. You said you were going to provide us passes to the Fey to get there faster, so we're here.
Will, were you going to do something?
I was gonna make a bad joke, but I opted not to.
Okay. Probably a good idea. She says, "I have a guide prepared that will lead you across the Feywild into the realm of winter. The entire way, you will be tested. Your wit, your knowledge, and your skills in combat, as well as those of your party. Be certain that those you bring along are those whom you trust most."
I will look at her and say, well, trust has always been an issue with me, and these are the guys I trust the most based on my experiences. So if they're willing to travel with me still and go through with this, then I'm prepared.
She smiles and says, "That trust will be needed in order to pass your way across the many trials that the woods themselves present against you. Hold fast to your companions, and you may yet make it out of this in one piece." And she looks up and she says, "Mary, I do believe it's time to introduce yourself." And Tuck, out of nowhere, you feel this hard whack on the back of your head, and as you kind of shock your way forward, all of you watch as perhaps you see a woman, probably the bustiest looking elf you've ever seen, half elf you've ever seen, in pretty tight fitting armor, just kind of seems like she just smacks Tuck really hard in the back in the head, and she says, "Ha! Got you one, bitch. Long time no see, tiny dick."
Fuck. Oh, stop it, tits.
Ah! Good to see our sense of humor hasn't gone anywhere. So, the sausage party ready to get moving?
Can I just go give her one good barbarian hello?
I don't know what that is.
It's just, like when buff guys meet and they like put their hand on one of the person's chest.
She sees you approach, and she instinctively reaches for a large sword on the back of her back, and there's a sudden silence as you begin to kind of approach, and she says, "Careful there, doggy."
That's not racist or anything. I'm a little hurt.
And this, gentlemen, is why I don't publish the stream to outside.
I want to be explicitly clear that this is a dark elf surrounded by a bunch of wood elves.
Someday, a man will not be judged by the color of his skin, but by the content of his character.
Don't blame me, blame her. She's the one who said it.
I have a dream.
All right. There is a sudden, as you kind of make yourself known, there's a sudden a breath that's kind of taken in as they realize what you are. And you hear Titania once again express, "Are you certain that you trust all of your companions?"
So far they've earned my trust.
I hope so. Mary will standing next.
He said about the guy who stole gold from the party.
I don't know he stole gold.
I know.
That was
I'm
never
just
made
throwing
known.
that out. I know.
But Mary says, "Well, if you're ready to get your dicks in check, we can get going."
Then I will say, well, Tuck, since you're obviously familiar with our guide, lead on.
Sure.
She steps forward and she says, "I'll be doing the leading. You do the following."
So I have a question.
Go for it.
Did the screen change at all?
No.
It didn't change for me either. I was just making sure.
Just making sure because I don't know where to go. I don't see anything.
Well, not
You
in
don't
combat,
change it-
in your head.
I changed it back.
just-
I changed it back to the random battle map. I had changed it previously to the map so that Will could get a sense of where he was. If you don't see the battle map, you'll probably want to reload.
Hang on.
So, do you make your way on?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
She leads on, away from the glade into the depths of the forest itself along what appears to be a dirt road that seems to wind its way through the very forest itself. As you make your way against the forest, the serene beauty of this place again makes its presence known to you. The forest very much feels alive. And as you're kind of wandering your way through, it gets to be a little later into the evening. You travel for the better part of several days, and Will, out of the corner of your ear, towards the end of this first day, you think of travel. It's hard to tell time in this realm. Out of the corner of your ear, you think you hear music. Very, very joyful, playful music.
What kind of music? Instrument? What kind of instrument? Is it singing?
You
Is it
hear
more than one
flutes.
instrument?
You hear flutes and mandolins that seem to play something of a joyful tune.
Can I tell a direction?
It sounds like it's coming a little ways just off the left side of the road.
I say, hark. Since seems to be I'm in the middle of Midsummer Night's Dream. Hark, dost thou hear thy music playing in the distance?
Mary looks over her shoulder at you, then she looks over at Tuck and goes, "The fuck he just say?"
Music. You hearing it? Or am I going crazy? It's beautiful.
Maybe.
He's talkative. Just
As he brings it up, the rest of you hear this too. This pretty joyful, happy sort of dancing tune.
Awesome. We'll start to try to figure out a counterpoint to accompany them as he starts walking in the direction he believes the music is coming from.
Okay. Will begins to make his way off of the beaten road into the forest from where he seems to be hearing this joyful rhythm kind of happening. Oh, the rest of you following him? What do you do?
Seems like a good idea that we would stick together.
Yeah, I would caution Will, like, I don't think that's the way we need to go. And I'll look at Mary and see which way she's kind of gesturing. Is she gesturing in the same direction or opposite?
She says, "I'm just here to make sure you guys stay out of trouble. You want to investigate the music, that's your business."
I say, okay,
She says, "It's supposed to be your test, not mine."
I guess I'll kind of look at the party and I say, I guess we should probably, follow the bard and try to keep him out of trouble.
Or just stop it. We
It's
could
just
stop it.
guys, it's just music. What's the big deal? I'm right here. You can talk to me. I'm right here. It's so annoying.
Yeah,
talking
you wandered
about me
off.
while I'm here.
He's wandered off a little.
Oh, so
well,
I'm far enough away I can't even hear them. Is what you're saying.
you're hearing
Hey.
murmurs at this point.
Don't
Ah,
go that far away. I'll yell. Come back.
Any reason why I can't kill him?
All you hear is joyful, playful music. It sounds
So-
like a regular party's going on just over
Alright,
the hill.
So I don't hear him say "come back."
You hear maybe a little bit of that, but it's kind of hard to hear. The
yell.
music's a little bit louder where you are.
Yeah, exactly.
You can make a perception check to see how
I'll
much of
run
it
up
you
to
make
him.
out. Okay.
Well, no, because I mean, if I'm trying to, determine if I still have my free will here, so perception check to see if I hear it. I guess I don't know if
You
it's perception or passive perception.
You hear the music. You watch as Dr. Connors begins to run up to you.
Oh, I pause and Is there a problem?
Hey, man. So maybe they warned us about some tests that were coming up. This kind of seems like one of those.
This might be a musical test.
Hmm.
She did say puzzles.
I see where your head's at, and I believe in you. Trust in your heart. Let's go.
Awesome. So let's go. Follow the music. Well, again, as I'm approaching, I'm like kind of fingering the strings on my mandolin, trying to come up with the counterpoint so that when I arrive, if it's okay, I can begin to accompany them.
Okay. You watch as Dr. Connors and Will begin to make their way deeper into the forest where this music seems to be emanating from. What the rest of you do?
I look at the rest of it and go, I guess we better go chase them down.
Kent
All right.
Who knows where we're going?
Kent says, and I'm not rolling insight. Kent says this does not seem like a good idea. But I guess we better go get him.
All right.
I'll look at Kent and go, do you have a better idea?
Well, hey, Killi, what do I know about the Feywilds?
Make a history check.
Sure. I'm hoping I know something.
Not really. You know, it's another plane of existence where the elves originally came from. A lot of fey creatures live there.
What do I know about these plants in the forest we're walking?
I can't wait.
Oh,
We have 2 more years ready.
Sure.
I can't wait. But yeah, no, I'll bring the car off.
You don't know much about them. Yeah, as far as you know, it's just natural for this part of the forest.
You're welcome on big time.
Will, I'd like you to make a performance check for you as you make your way over the hill, as you're trying to counterpoint this music.
Surely.
Because all your text, voicemails, apps.
All right. You think you managed to match a perfect counterpoint, and as you make your way over the hill, you can see spread out before you is a series of tables with benches next to them, and spread out across the tables looks like a veritable bountiful feast of the forest's bounty. There are miscellaneous fruits and vegetables that have been placed across. All of it looks hearty and healthy, and in the midst of this music being played, you can see a number of humanoid creatures that look to be almost half man and half goat. One of them seems to be playing what looks to be some sort of fiddle. Another one is playing what looks to be a mandolin. There is 1 or 2 more that look like they're in the midst of playing some sort of flute instrument, a couple of different flute instruments, and dancing around them are a couple more of these half-goat men, and in the midst of a shared dance is what looks to be some very beautiful women in some sort of simple dress, but it looks like their skin is made entirely of wood, and they're in the midst of this beautiful dance. And as you counterpoint making your way over the hill, they kind of hail you, and they begin to play a little bit louder. The dancing begins to pick up. They're into it.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome. I focus on the playing and try to measure a beat that is catchy and easily danced to, and just kind of feed the mood with my music.
All right. You feed the mood, the dancing begins to get a little bit louder and becomes a little bit more joyous. Go ahead and make a performance check.
Well, I didn't think I was performing, but here we go.
It's a form of art.
Hey.
All right. You're a little unpracticed in it, but you think you managed to make up the rhythm, and at least one of the women who seems to be made out of wood begins to kind of move and sway along with you, trying to match your simple but otherwise graceful movements. The rest of you begin to make your way over the hill. You can see Will in the midst of playing furiously next to a couple of these half-goat, half-human men who are playing these instruments and kind of hopping and leaping around. You can see Dr. Connors is in the midst of simply dancing with this woman who looks to be, her entirety of her skin looks to be made out of this very fine wood. You can see this beautiful spread of fruits and vegetables and all sorts of very healthy-looking food in different baskets just spread out across the table.
Killi, I don't see a white rabbit or a man with a big, tall, mad hat on at the end of this table or anything, do I?
You know, funny enough, from the back behind you, you hear "Happy Birthday!" No, I'm kidding. You don't see that at all.
Okay, just figured out I would ask.
No, it looks to be this veritable joyous feast.
So, I'm curious, and I want to approach the food on the table.
Okay. You approach the
And-
food on the table. One of the half-goat, half-human men says, "Feel free to partake in the bounty, friend."
I'll reach for one of the fruits, I guess,
Okay. It looks healthy and happy and hearty.
and I'll just take a bite out of it.
All right. It tastes fresh. It tastes delicious.
Fuck it, I'm eating it.
All right. You gobble it all down.
I guess I'll take a seat with the satyrs.
All right. They're in the midst of eating to their heart's content, and one of them passes you another fruit. This one looks to be made blue, and it's very. The juice seems like it's practically flowing out of it.
Take a bite out of it.
It's juicy. It fills your mouth with flavor. It's so
I
sweet.
get it.
I'll ask Tuck. Can we make them a jug-size container of mayonnaise? Just leave it with them.
Fucking mayonnaise.
Help this feast out a little.
Sure.
All right.
Mayonnaise. Go.
I'll see a empty-ish platter and empty out the jug full of mayonnaise onto it, so that they now some.
All right. They look at the jar kind of curiously as you begin to empty it. By the way, Tuck, as you're preparing this, you watch as your half sister is just kind of standing back from the scene. She pulls out from underneath a cloak that she's wearing, what looks like a flask of whiskey, and she just uncorks it and begins to kind of drink.
Good.
The creatures that make out this area, and by the way, in the midst of this dancing, as you really get into it, a couple of you can see what look to be fairies begin to kind of fly amidst the fruit. They look like they're kind of making sure that the fruit is rotated. They look a little bit curiously at the mayonnaise as it's prepared into a wooden bowl that has been provided for your benefit. They take a bit of a slice of what looks to be maybe some kind of orange or apple. You're not quite sure. They dip it. They taste it. They find it a little weird, and then they kind of continue to serve. The mayonnaise, they're experimenting with it a little bit, but for the most part, they seem to be leaving it alone.
It's at this point, I would like to say, guys, not that we can't kind of hang out for a feast, but we are on a bit of a truncated timetable, aren't we, Teagan?
Oh, right.
I will nod in agreement and say, look at Will and say, why don't you thank your host for allowing us to partake in the party so we can continue on our quest.
Yes, of course. You're right. This has been fun, but apparently, if this is all that's going on here, then we should continue on. And Will actually, draws his performance to a close.
Okay.
And
they clap, they bow, everybody kind of cheers as you begin to draw the
takes off his hat and gives the lady, the wooden lady, a gracious bow. Says,
she gives her as much of a curtsy as she can.
I say, I hope you enjoy my playing as much as all here enjoy your beauty, my lady.
She blushes. You can hear a bit of a giggle.
Says, farewell, and may we meet again.
She gives you a kiss on the cheek.
Aw, that's awesome.
She blushes more like blossoms. Am I right, Treelet? All right.
You hear the half man, half goat creature who is playing one of the flutes say, "Oh, you don't leave so soon. Why, we've just gotten the party started, and you play so excellently."
Well, I appreciate the sentiment, my friend. However, we do have business to attend to. It was certainly my pleasure to be allowed to play at your festival. But please, enjoy the rest of your day. And again, I thank you. And
this should be a quick thing we're doing. Perhaps we can stop by on the way back through.
Yes. How long is this festival scheduled to go on? Are you celebrating something in particular? Will asks.
He responds, "Why, we're celebrating the harvest. The harvest of the forest.
Oh.
And I'm afraid it's not going to last for much longer. I promise, if you'd like to stay for just a little bit, celebrate the last end of it."
We'll kind of...
How much longer? It could be like 5 years. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we'll again, well, I mean, look, Will wants to stay. So he'll turn back to the group and just be like, give that little kind of, like a kid with his mom, like the hands together, like, please, can we stay? This is so much fun.
And Isn't will put his hand in the air with the thing of fruit and go, "You guys really should try this," and stuff his face again.
Tastes so good.
I came my Saul, and I'm ready to go.
I-
We have a meal.
I lean over to Corral and say, I want to leave him, but I don't think we should.
Well, one of the woman who gave you a kiss kind of puts her arms around you. The wood, by the way, feels silky smooth. Might as well be fine skin. And she kind of gives you these puppy dog eyes of, please don't go.
I will look at Will. I go, Will, if you want to stay, you can stay. But the rest of us, we're going to go continue on. So I would suggest you come with us so we can get this mission over with.
Yes, very well, very well. No, I cannot leave my friends. I am sorry, fair lady, and I take her hand and I kiss it as I disengage from her. Says, but my friend is right. I have responsibility and I must tend to it as much as I'd much rather be enjoying your festival. Once more, I salute your beauty and bid you farewell.
She begins to kind of tear up and cry.
Oh, no, don't do that. That's not fair.
She kind of turns away.
See, now I'm just mad at you guys. It's like, gee, thanks, guys. Look what you made me do.
Isn't, by the way, another plate is prepared by the fairies in front of you.
Yeah, Will's going to remove himself from the scene because, geez, I'm used to making women cry, but not like that. Usually it's like when they wake up next to me and they're sober and they're like, "Oh my God, what happened?"
All right. So what are you all doing then?
I'm turning to Mary and saying, please get us back on the path that we need to be going on.
She says, "Right back up there. It's up to you to get there."
I'm gonna pick up the plate. I'm gonna motion at it and ask if I don't say anything because my mouth's full, but motion and ask if I can take it with me.
One of the fairies will say, "Gotta run out if you run way too fast. You'll go hungry."
Oh, this is plain. Thank you. Now I'll just take the entire plate and walk away.
Okay. Are you all just making your way back over the hill?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna follow Teagan behind him and start walking back.
Okay. The second you make your way back over the hill, the music stops. You look back over the hill, and there is nothing there beyond just what looks to be maybe some dead grass. You begin to spit out as you realize what you're eating is a plate of pine cones.
Oh. Now I'm just sad.
But your breath is pine fresh.
Oh, fuck you.
I will look back and kind of shrug and ask Mary to lead on.
All right. She leads you on past the back onto the road and begins to make her way on. She says, "If you stayed there, you would have stayed forever."
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
Another few days, at least you think a few days.
Well, Will will actually respond to that. He'll say, "Why did you say that? It wasn't difficult to leave."
She says, "Nothing is ever as it seems in the Fey Wild."
And that's exactly what I would say. It's like the Fae is not like the normal world.
You're looking for Rose. What was Rose's last name?
So what your eyes can deceive you on what you're actually looking at.
Will shrugs and says, "I'll take your word for it."
Lifts up plate of pine cones. Exhibit A.
Another couple of days, at least you think a couple of days, begins to pass on as you make your way in. You begin to make your way into, as you begin to travel deeper and deeper across this road, over the course of who knows how long, the otherwise lush summer forest begins to turn something of a darker color, and it's hard to say whether you're just in a dark part of the forest where whatever constitutes the sun here doesn't shine, or whether It's just a perpetual night. You go for the better part of a perpetual night, and you take time to rest. Over the course of this rest, Tuck, you hear what sounds like some giggling, and you see out of the corner of your eye what looks to be a couple of young women, perhaps as far as humans are concerned, no older than their 20s, but they have elven features, are beginning to kind of look curiously in your direction. And as you kind of peer up and look at them, they quickly duck behind a tree.
Watch out, those women are made of pine cones.
These ones are not. They just look to be young, beautiful elven women.
I'm going to go around the tree and see what they're doing.
Okay. As you begin to get up and make your way around towards the tree.
Do I notice
well,
this?
You're probably watching his. Tuck gets up and moves his way over there. Mary also happens to be up at this point. As does probably Isn't.
I am also awake.
So I will just kind of whisper very slightly under my breath, but we're Tuck can hear it, saying, "Remember what happened the last time you saw a girl?"
Mary gets up, grabs her large greatsword, and begins to do what she can to stealth behind Tuck as he makes his way into the forest. What do the rest of you do?
Am I still asleep?
You're still asleep.
Well, I continue sleeping, I guess, unless I'm woken up. I don't know.
The elves are keeping watch.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, if I don't know what's going on, I'm sleeping.
Right.
I guess. Can I investigate and see if they're any danger?
You can make a perception check.
Well, I'm trying to take the sense of a feeling of, do they have malicious intent?
Well, first make a perception check to see if you notice them.
Okay.
Okay.
That's insight.
Yep, we'll count the insight, but make the perception. Okay, you don't notice them.
Damn. Okay. Well.
Or would that automatically be a 10 as part of the thing?
Only if I am... Oh yeah, that's automatically a 10 because I am proficient in it.
Okay. So in that case, you do see them? Are you proficient in insight?
I am not.
Okay. You only rolled an 11 there anyway, so you don't. It's hard to sense whether there's any danger afoot or not, but you do see these young, beautiful elven women seem like they're kind of coaxing Tux into the forest. All right.
So Tuck's not quite out of my sight yet, right?
He's beginning to be.
I will kind of get up. I'll run over to him, stop him for a second, saying, "Where are you going?"
Pussy. And I point the way.
And I will look at that. I will look in that direction, not see anything, and say, "Those are just flowers. Come back to bed."
From his bedroll, Will goes, "What?" He gets up, kind of smoothing his hair.
You say those are just flowers. Tuck responds, "They're about to be deflowers."
I say, it's not a good idea to venture off, my friend.
God damn it.
You hear giggling over your shoulder back in the forest. Mary's just has... Okay.
I will look at Mary since she's kind of looked like she's ready for battle. I go, "Do you see anything, or do you sense anything?"
She says, "This is your task, not mine. I'm just here to guide you."
Then why did you gather up, look like you're ready for a fight, and started following Tug as soon as he walked off? Sounds
Well, it's
like
my
this
business.
is just about your test as well.
Nope. She kind of sits down, just kind of folds her arms, and goes back to drinking whiskey.
I will look at Tug and say, "She's definitely related to you."
Fuck you, bitch.
Yep.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep. Well, I'll say you're not going alone, and I'll go wake everybody up and saying, Tuck is being led this direction. He sees something. I don't see it, but let's stick together.
You wake everybody up then?
Yep.
Okay. By the way, go ahead and give yourselves the benefits of a long rest if you haven't already.
Is the situation explained to Will as far as what we're doing once he's woken up, I assume?
You're explained that Tuck has seen 3 beautiful elven women, and Teagan somehow stopped him and decided the best thing to do was to wake everybody up and talk to him about 3 beautiful women.
All right. Just because I'm starting to get the hang of this place, Will is going to start playing that tune with that's on the 2, not the 1. It's like a Zydeco beat, the one he uses when other magic is attempting to control people in the party.
Sure.
The counter charm.
Sure.
He'll just throw that up and have it playing just in case.
And then I'll look at Tuck and say, okay, the whole group's awake. Do you still want to go chase after these 3 women?
Yes.
So you make your way into the direction of the giggling?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
The
I'll
rest
let
of
him
you?
lead on for a few minutes.
Okay. Mary just kind of shakes her head and has her sword at the ready. Tuck, don't forget to restore your hit points. But the rest of you just kind of following behind?
I'll ready my swords and I'll.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not drawing my weapon.
Okay. You casually make your way, kind of strolling behind. But Tuck, you follow the giggling into the forest, and you hear it off to your left. And then you follow the path of that, and then you hear it off to your right. And you begin to wind your way away from the road deeper and deeper into the forest, to the point where it's beginning hard to see where the path is.
At that point, I will stop Tuck again and say, look, they're leading us on a wild goose chase away from where we need to be going. I suggest we head back. You'll find women in another town.
I have a feeling this is important, though, and you're a goddamn druid. Find our way back.
It's not a question of me finding my way back. If you get lost, then how are you going to find your way back?
I'm gonna follow you.
Well, I'm heading back.
But pussy, and I point towards the forest.
And I'll say, you know what? I think we need to head back.
God.
Mary will step forward. She says, "You really want to go chasing after that bonehead?"
Oh, yeah,
I'll
we're
remind
coming
Tuck, his luck with women lately has not been all that great.
back.
And remind him of the she-male he encountered not too long ago.
Mary says, "Go on. I got to hear this."
I will say, I will let Tuck tell you the story while we're working our way back to the path.
Is that so? Go ahead, Tiny Dick. Let's hear it.
Nothing to say, tits. Let's go.
Bah, you're no fun. You make your way back to the road?
Yeah.
Okay. The giggling stops. Out of the corner of your ear, you could swear, Tuck, that you can hear somebody cursing. But you can't make out the voice. No. A male voice cursing.
Trannies. Those damn tranny fairies get you every time. It's like the fruit pine cones, you know. Surprise!
Making your way back towards the central road, the sounds of whatever this was beginning to fade behind you. For the better part of the next 24 hours, Mary will continue to pester somebody to tell her what it is they're talking about, the she-male that Tuck supposedly fucked. But over the course of the next several days, you eventually, the perpetual nightfall, that seems to be the better part of this area seems to give way to eventually the road makes its way towards what looks to be a descent into some sort of valley that seems to connect almost two polar opposite temperatures. In the area you're in, it begins to get a little bit colder, and as you descend down into the valley, you can see that on the side of the bridge that you are on, there is this lush sort of natural green forest. On the other side of this bridge, it looks to be covered in snow, and there are large, jagged mountain peaks that are almost hard to see beyond the snowfall that seems to mostly gently just kind of fall on the other end of this bridge. And as you begin to descend your way down into this valley, you eventually come across, standing at the edge of the bridge where you're on, standing in front of it, in fact, is what looks to be an older elf, not quite as old as Tuck, at least from appearance, but he has something of, sort of a silver fox sort of decorum to him. And as you begin to make your way down, he raises his hand and says, "Hail!" And then he looks over at Tuck and he smiles and he says, "That a sword in your pocket, or you just happy to see me there, big guy?"
Muted.
Me?
No, Glory.
Oh.
If he's there.
Sorry, the wife was being a pain in the ass. She just told me to suck a dick.
Yes, you will. What?
Sorry. At least it's recorded. I'll make her listen to it later. What the fuck's going on now?
You descend down into this valley. On one end of the bridge opposite from you is this area covered in snow and everything. The one you're on is this beautiful, lush sort of summer forest. And standing in front of the bridge is this older-looking elf. Doesn't look quite as old and ragged as you. Has something of a silver fox look about him. And he hails you as you approach. He looks over in your direction. He says, "Is that a sword in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me there, big fella?"
I'm always happy. So.
And Mary just kind of rolls her eyes and shakes her head. But he stands up and he says, "Well, good to see you made it here without too much hassle, it appears. You must know that I am responsible for ensuring that only the worthy pass from one end to the other."
Oh, good.
Can you define worthy, as Will makes air quotes with worthy?
He looks at you and he says, "Well, there are trials that you can undertake to ensure whether or not you are smart, brave, or cunning enough to survive on the other side."
I'll turn to Izzy and say, "Damn, dude, I don't think you're going to make it."
He laughs at that. He says, "The whole of you can have one sort of trial. A trial of wit, a trial of might, or a trial of memory."
I say not the memory one. Please.
I think the memory trial has failed us before.
It is your choice.
May I suggest a third option, says Will.
I provided you with 3
I'm
options.
sorry, a fourth option, rather, says the guy with the...
Please don't let it be a math on the wit, then.
No. How about a test of talent?
And what do you propose there, young bard?
Yes. Allow me to perform. If you judge my performance worthy, we can pass.
Isn't will visibly facepalm.
He says, "That's brave, but the trial must be for all of you, not just you, my young friend, although I would enjoy a good song at some other time."
Oh.
Kurt begins putting his bagpipes back away.
A trial of might, a trial of wit, or a trial of memory.
Will turns towards the others and goes. He shrugs.
I look at you guys and I say, nah, I'm probably fucked any way we go, so, whatever you guys say.
I say skill.
That wasn't an option.
I know, but I'm fucking skillful.
I will look at the group and, knowing our history, and say, I would suggest we try to do the trial of might. It seems to be our best option.
Sure.
Agreed. What do I hit?
Here I go stabbing again.
We've chosen might.
He looks over in your direction, in particular Teagan, and he says, "Are you certain? I promise I will not hold back."
I'll look back at him, and then I'll look at Tuck, and see if there's any objection from anyone else.
Will shrugs again.
And since I'm hearing absolutely dead silence, I will say,
I prefer a wit, but I'm pretty.
if you want,
Well, no,
fun.
me
Give us the
personally, me Pan, I prefer a wit, but Will's pretty dumb, so I'm good.
I will look and say, based on the history of this group, we will go with the trial of strength.
He raises his eyebrow curiously, and he says, "Well, aren't you brave? But as I mentioned, I will hold nothing." Hang on, why my voice mod? I will hold nothing back. And you watch as the old man begins to transform. His copper skin becomes copper scales, and you see a large, ancient beast loom before you. Roll initiative.
I don't much care for this, I'm gonna be honest.
You had your chance to object.
Yeah, but I didn't think you'd become a fucking dragon.
He's not fucking yet.
This would be what? Dragon number like 18 we killed? We're good.
This is the first ancient one you will have faced.
Just means it's old and ragged.
Yeah, I'm thinking no.
Alrighty. So, oops.
I'll immediately look at Dr. Connors and go, "Is your rope out yet?"
This is a Fey dragon. It's a much different sport. I'm not into that.
Alright. We begin the top of the round with Ka.
Ka will surge forward and give him a bite.
Alright. That will actually hit. Go ahead and roll damage. Alright. He shakes off the worst of the poison, but you do watch as Ka snakes his way into some of the weaker points of the scales of this creature, getting a nasty hit on top of him. He cries out, "Well struck!" Will.
Will is going to move out this way. Because one thing I know about dragons is you want to separate yourselves. He pulls his rapier, playing Danger Zone. Gives him advantage on deck saves.
Alrighty.
And he's going to go... what's that new chord? Oh, yes. And he's going to cast his new favorite spell.
Alright. That does hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Bazinga!
Alright. Shooting frost from the tip of your beam, it begins to hit into the bottom foot of this creature, who begins to kind of shake it off, and he says, "This will be fun indeed." At the end of your turn, the dragon is going to take a legendary action to make a tail attack, which has a reach of 20 feet against Teagan. And is going to hit you for 16 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Mary this entire time, who's been kind of following behind most of you, or rather leading you on, you see as from her back, she unsheathes a large but very well balanced looking sword that seems to be made of some sort of almost purple crystalline substance. And she says, "Find thee some action." And she charges forward, right up next to the dragon with this powerful looking sword, and she will swing twice into the creatures. Oops, that was to GM. I meant it to be public. And she crits with a Vorpal Greatsword. Unfortunately, the dragon's too large to simply behead.
Could take its foot off.
Not how the Vorpal Greatsword typically works. But she slices hard into him. You'll watch as it almost looks like a bit of a fair chunk of blood begins to emanate from a large gash that has been created in the side of this creature. And then her second swing, it's also a natural 20. Why can't I roll this with every other character?
Because you're fighting with us in this instance.
She chops off a toe, and the dragon just kind of shakes and looks at her pretty angrily at this point. Like, that wasn't in the contract. And then, at the end of her turn... Yeah, you're right, she does an extra 12d8. God. I just trivialized this monster by getting 2 crits with an NPC.
No.
The dragon makes a tail attack against Mary as a legendary action. And doing 23 points of bludgeoning damage against her isn't.
All right, I'll run up beside her, and I'll give him the good old
My
1-2.
I'm sorry, but I just want to point this out. I gave her this Vorpal Greatsword just being a sort of a, oh cool, Tuck's half-sister has this really cool weapon. And the first time I use it, I get 2 fucking crits. Against a large ancient dragon that I've thrown against you. I've literally taken off a quarter of its hit points in 2 swings.
Diamond bears, baby! You can't beat us.
It's the might of our luck.
Your luck!
There's the good stuff for you.
29 hits, 20 does not.
Damn. Okay, well, there's Mariner's Revenge and my sneak attack for you.
Okay. You get Mariner's Revenge across the large gash on the toe of the creature that she has left behind, and you watch as a bit more blood begins to kind of fly off. And he's kind of shocked and surprised by how vicious, at the very least, Mary is. But looks back at the rest of your direction. As you kind of come through with the follow-through, he takes his tail one more time, and he's going to burn a legendary action to make a tail attack against you, isn't? And that's going to hit. You take 19 points of bludgeoning damage from the tail as it swacks into you.
Okay, I'll take 19.
All right. Kurt, you're up.
I'm going to attack I'm going to put Hunter's Mark on the dragon, and then attack it with my bow using a charge.
Okay.
Which isn't going to hit anyways. Okay.
Nope.
And the snake will...
Firing the spirit energy from the bow, it begins to... That misses too. Your snake kind of rides on top of it, trying to get in, and it just hits into the raw, hard part of this large beast's hide. Teagan, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to move down here.
The dragon will make an attack of opportunity against you with its claw.
Fine. I didn't think I was
I'm sorry,
where I was. But...
I'm sorry, his tail. He's got a reach of 20 feet with his tail. So.
Okay.
He does whack you, almost tripping you as you make your way across. You take 21 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. And then I'm going to turn around him, and I'm going to hit him with this at level 5.
Sorry, guys. My dog did not want to come in.
Oof.
So
half damage on a success. Okay. All right. He takes half damage from that, which is going to be 25,
Why are we fighting an ancient copper dragon?
because somebody opted for the Trial of Might.
What the fuck?
We opted for the trial of might, everyone.
I gave everyone an option.
Will kind of like puts a hand up and behind the hand points over at Tuck.
I would have opted not to attempt the trial of might.
I do want to point out, because I think you missed it. Mary there has a verbal greatsword, and because I thought, oh cool, it would be something cool for you to kind of see that she has this really powerful weapon as your guide. The first time I use it, the 2 swings, natural 20.
Oh shit.
The beast is too big to have his head cut off, so she did an extra 12d6 or 8 or something. Literally, I give you an NPC, gave her one weapon I thought would be kind of cool, get 2 natural 20s, and in this large dragon fight, I literally took off a quarter of his hit points.
Well, that's a damn sight better than Moopy or whatever the fuck his name was from the first thing that we were doing. The guy who
I threw an ancient copper dragon against you and immediately shot myself in the foot.
You know, that guy couldn't get Sacred Flame to land for shit. Now you give this one a fucking weapon that almost kills the dragon.
Yep.
Okay, alright.
Alright, what's the 4d6 for? I assume it's for...
It's my Fey energy. Heal myself.
Okay. Alright, sure.
Do you want me to roll in this?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Thank you. Because I don't want to be standing right in front of an ancient fucking copper dragon.
Who already, by the way, looks pretty hurt.
I don't fucking care. It's an ancient copper dragon.
Alright, Ken, what are you doing?
Getting the fuck out of the front of the fucking ancient copper dragon. 2 questions before we continue, and I shoot myself in the fucking foot here. One, did we actually complete that rest?
Yes. We all got benefits.
You would have gotten a rest by now.
Okay, because I need to restore some shit. Okay. And 1, 2, 4. How far away am I from that thing?
25 feet.
25 feet.
Is that the Baldur's Gate soundtrack?
Possibly. Yep.
I think I just got disconnected, so
I did as well.
reloading.
I may have. It says the site's been the connection's been interrupted. Let me go ahead and reload.
Yeah, I'll do that. It should save it where we're at, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
You would think that. You'd be wrong. I just reloaded to a blank screen with no
I did too.
and no mark.
Hang on.
So hopefully,
No me.
once Killi reloads, it'll.
I think it's the server. Let me just... Yeah, because it's getting interrupted again.
I just
Hang
clicked
on.
on the server thing. Let me check and see. It says everything's up. It's all checkmarked.
Bullshit.
My connection just got interrupted again. I think the
God
server's...
damn it. Yeah, I think server's dying for old 20. Really? I throw an ancient copper dragon, I get 2 crits shooting myself in the foot, and then the server crashes. Happy Wednesday! Happy February.
Well, that came up earlier tonight, though, if you didn't notice, and it went away after a couple moments.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
First
to
time
wait a
I've
few
seen
minutes.
Nah, I
Yeah.
noticed it when I think, Will DC, I think?
Let me try rolling into this. No.
I'm here right now.
What's the status site say? It says all the servers are operating normally.
Yeah, I checked.
It's a liar.
Yes, it is.
Maybe the status server is also seeing that the connection has been interrupted, and you right now need to go back online.
Well, let's give it a minute.
Yeah, I'll have to give it a few minutes to see if it loads up everything.
By the way, trial of might, huh? Great idea.
I think it's going pretty well.
You realize that the most high-level dragon that we've killed so far has been a young adult, I believe.
So a few things. One, I said that I'd be shit at all of them, and that we should pick whatever the group wanted. And two, that copper dragon wasn't on the screen when we picked Might.
That is true.
What you saw was an old silver hair fox elf standing in front of this bridge.
Did he have
As soon
copper
as you opt,
skin?
yes.
Good
Now
call.
that's Conan. That's Conan, right?
For what it's worth, the dragon hasn't even gone yet, had its turn yet. You've already knocked off about half of his hit points.
Well, to be fair, you did that. If it hadn't been for your
That's true.
crits,
That's true, and I'm well aware of that, which is why I'm like, God damn it.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
It's about time to do something useful.
Well, while we're waiting, Kent, since you were obviously AFK and I didn't know that, we had strength, wit, or what was
Memory.
it? Memory? Which one would you have chosen?
well, I know Druid would not have chosen memory.
Right. we already did that one.
Funny you point that out because that's the first thing that was said.
So we already had that one off the tails. We had wit and and strength, and then I looked at Tuck.
Well, see, wit I wouldn't have gone either way with. Because if it was wit like how witty you were, the bard might have been able to carry us through it. If it was intelligence, even with the +5 to int, I would have fucked that up. So, I guess
I
it's
also
all
have
worth
+5 in it, so
So again, my decision
Well-
was based on the history of this group. We probably should go with strength.
Yeah, you know, when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
So, since you've already chosen the trial by now, I'll add this for your benefit. Trial of Might, of course, is to fight the beast himself. Trial of Wit would have been, I would have given you a series of riddles, and you would have had the chance to respond with your own riddles in the first person. And if you didn't know the answer or couldn't come up with the answer yourself, you would have the opportunity to make a check to see if you knew the answer. Your character would know the answer. And depending on who lost first would determine, what happened from there. Trial of Memory would be you would have to recall a story of your heroic deeds that you'd have to recall to the dragon with specific details, including names and locations.
Yeah. I'm going to say if he asked any of those questions to Dr. Connors, it was not going to go well.
So again, I think we chose the right one based on our history of this group.
Good call. Really not loading up, huh? Do you guys see that?
Oh, I saw right at the very end. I saw something load.
my
Then I-
screen's just a white box.
Yeah, so
I might just go
see
ahead
if
and
I can
refresh.
load a different game, see if anything pops up.
Well, I drew a deck out of the card out of the deck just for the hell of it to see if it was like white color. I was just curious if you could all see it.
I didn't never see a card. I saw the turn
I
order
can't.
pop up for a second.
The other game's loading up for me.
I just blame Killy.
I think the game saw Killy roll 2 crits and said, "Oh shit, there's something wrong with the servers. Bring them down."
Well, that is funny in and of itself as well.
Killy pulled his own fate card.
See, I'm able to load up all my other games. It's just this one isn't loading up the detail for some reason.
Do you want to try and just have everyone back out and reload?
Yeah, we can all exit out and then let you load in, see if it comes up, and then maybe join on you.
Yeah,
All right, fair
let's
enough.
try that. You're all still in the game, though.
That is a lot.
And it shows you as being in the game.
I am not.
I closed my browser completely.
I'll do
Mm.
I
that
just
too.
hit exit game.
Yeah, I exited the game and then closed my browser.
Does Roll20 have a form?
It does.
Hold on. Yeah. Code of conduct. Whatever.
You said the other game's loaded up, so our other game loaded up, Killy?
Yeah, I mean, I could load into like Sunless Citadel and it loads up just fine.
API, Roll20 Marketplace.
Yeah. And the Sunday night game loaded up just fine too.
General. Do they not have a general perform or general fucking form?
They should.
Yeah, it's right there. Community forums.
Yes, I know, but based on the if you scroll down to the bottom, like I was looking for like under the thing, like a general thing to see if anybody else was having this problem. But it says general on topic and it's archived, so probably wouldn't be there. But oh, bug reports and technical. Oh, dev server campaign not working.
Oh, it just loaded up for me.
Okay.
Try logging back to the
Yeah,
game, guys.
it's back now.
Okay.
And it did say where we left off, so that's a good thing.
Okay.
Which I think is still Kent's turn, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it would be Kent's turn.
While I'm loading in, what do you guys think of the for gaming chairs? What's the gaming chair to get?
I have a DX Racer I enjoy.
I
What about
have.
this Secret Lab Titan?
I love my secret lab.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
What was the other one you said? DX Racer?
Yeah.
It's the same one Morgan has.
You know what? Hold on. 30 feet.
I just got a regular old office chair.
Yeah, I had to go back to an office chair because the gaming chairs I kept wearing out because I work from home.
30 feet.
All right.
30 feet.
Anyone have a Titan? Anyone do
Yeah.
we know have a Titan?
Me.
Is it? How long have you had it?
When did I buy that, Crowd? I told you like over a year ago.
Yeah, it was a little over a year ago. Like
How you like it?
Like right before Christmas last year, probably.
How you like it? Because I'm in the chair a lot. I work from home too.
I like I like it a lot, and I got it on sale, so it was kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
Hold on, Killi, 1 second. I just want to move this.
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay.
All right, sorry, Kelly, I'm back. Oh,
Okay.
table the chair conversation.
I'll talk
Cool.
to you. I'll talk to you more about it if you want afterward.
Cool.
All right, that should be 30 feet. Hold on.
Sure.
Do you actually want me to make a move or no? Or just
You can.
movement for right now? Or all right, 1 second.
For what it's worth, the oops. Damn it.
Okay.
That's
So
not doing what I want it to do. Go ahead.
Kent's going to cast Disintegrate at the beast.
Attaboy.
Hold on. Where the hell? Oh, my character sheet closed. That's right. Hold on. I don't know if there's an actual attack for. Yeah, there is.
Should be. All right. I'm just going to turn on the description for the spell because I like that because I don't remember them all off the top of my head.
Fair enough. Oh, don't add the 4. That's not an evocation spell. That's my fault. My fuck up.
Creature targeted makes a dex save. So I don't know why it doesn't auto add in. Spells for this have been acting weird lately. I don't know why. Dex save. Failed. They take the full damage and disintegrate if it leaves it at 0. Is it half damage? That's what I'm trying to find out.
No, if it fails,
I'm saying if it succeeds, is it half damage?
well, that's what I'm reading.
Smaller non-magical object. It's huge. Disintegrates 10-foot cube portion of it. It looks to me like if it succeeds the save, then it succeeds the save and takes nothing.
Okay, yeah, fine. But either way. So if it saves on the dex, he's fine.
Yep.
If he fails on the dex, he's taking 69 damage.
He's going to burn a legendary resistance to save.
Okay,
Winky face.
that's fine.
All right. Yep. All right. So you fire this beam of disintegrative energy, piercing at this large dragon's hide. He goes, well struck, but I'm tougher than that. And he just kind of bats away the beam as he blocks it with a wing.
Okay.
Tuck, you're up next.
I'm gonna go over here. Am I muted? No.
Nope.
And I'm gonna hit him.
All right. 25 hits. Go ahead. Where I lost a toe, you begin to bash against him.
Con save. Why not? Okay.
There's the crits when I need them. All right. 25 hits as well. Crit with the unarmed strike. A storm of fury begins to emanate around your fist as you impact into him. You hear, well. You follow through with the cock. Mary goes, nice try, tiny dick. And it just whack against the scales of this creature, bounces off, ricochets. Now, if you're done.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. The dragon's going to open up with his frightful presence. I need everybody to make a wisdom saving throw with a DC of 19. Mary will fail. Tuck will fail. Teagan will fail. Will saves.
Da-da-da.
Isn't fails.
Spectacularly, mind you.
The snake will succeed. And Miles fails. So everybody except for the snake and Will are frightened of the beast. As it kind of rears up its head, you see the majestic presence begin to practically speckle off of the copper scales of this large, ancient, powerful, immense beast. And although you've gotten a really strong opening against it, once you see him rear back, you begin to get just a little bit scared. And as a reminder, those of you who are frightened have disadvantage on all ability checks and attack rolls while the source of fear is in sight, and you cannot move willingly closer to the source of your fear. After he does that, he is going to claw, because Mary hit him so hard, he is going to claw twice. Nope. Yes. Claw twice into Mary and then bite her. Crit miss. That'll hit. Ordinary takes 16 points from that, and then he follows through with the bite. That'll hit. She takes 13 from that. Alright, she's starting to look a little injured at that point. Top of the round is Kent.
Kent's gonna point the Wand of Wonder at the dragon.
Attaboy.
And fire it.
Okay. Ooh, that's a good roll. A burst of colorful, shimmering light extends from you in a 30-foot radius. You and every creature in the area you can see, must succeed on a con save or become blinded for 1 minute.
Well, fuck.
The creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself in a success. So
30 feet, you said?
let's 30-foot radius. So with you as the central point, which is going to affect Kurt, you, and Teagan. So the three of you, I need you to make DC 15 con saves.
This is against the wand?
Yep.
Okay.
Kent, you are blinded. Bro, you're blinded. Teagan, I should say. Kurt, you're fine.
I would argue that if they are blinded and can't see the dragon, they are not afraid of the dragon.
You're still afraid of the dragon. You just don't see the source of it.
Alright.
Yeah, within line of sight, so I no longer have disadvantage.
You didn't get blinded.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, that's fair. I am still very disadvantaged.
Kent,
Yep.
You can't quite see where you're moving. If you're ending your turn, you can repeat the Wisdom saving throw for the frightened, as well as the con save against blinded.
Alright, well, hold on. Let's do Wisdom first.
It's still frightened.
That was Wisdom for... Okay, and the
Yep,
con save for the... Okay.
Yep, DC was 19. So
Yeah,
you just,
I got him mixed up.
Okay, you are no longer blinded.
Okay, oh shit. That'd be me there.
And
Because that was the end of my turn, so...
Ka's up next, one of the few creatures who isn't afraid of this large dragon. Oh, before you go, actually, he's going to burn 2 of his legendary actions to beat his wings. And I need everybody within 15 feet of him, which is going to include Ka, to make Dex saving throws. Those of you who are frightened, which would be everybody but Ka, will make those with disadvantage because you're frightened. Alright, Tuck fails. Ka... he would roll normally, we'll count 13, but he fails.
That's me. I was...
You're not within range.
Oh, well then, Ka rolled a...
I don't think you are. Yeah, you're just outside of range.
Sweet.
Alright. So Ka succeeds. So he takes no damage. Malik, you don't save. Actually, Ka is 21, DC is 23, so Ka does fail. So everybody fails. Alright, so 2d6 plus 8. You all take 15 points of damage. I'll let you adjust hit points. You all are knocked prone. As I mark that down. And then the dragon has a fly speed of 80 feet. He can fly half his speed as part of this. And he's going to fly right over here. And that's going to be his turn. And then Ka's up. Yeah, and you can take half damage. Alright.
I didn't mean to use advantage there, so that doesn't hit anyways.
Does Ka, I assume, get off prone?
Yeah.
All right. He reaches out towards the dragon. The dragon manages to duck and weave out of the way before Ka manages to wrap his head around the dragon. All right. Will, you're up. I'll say that the most you can move is probably right there, because there's a big ledge that falls into nothing right about there. You also muted in Discord.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't think moving to the ledge is just a bad idea. So, well, you know what?
Just do this freehand.
Sorry, I'll move there and say to the dragon, why is everyone so intimidated? I've had bowel movements more intimidating than you.
All right. He laughs at that and he says, "Clever bird."
And as a bonus action, I am going to throw a healing word at Mary.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast that at 2nd level. Ugh.
All right. She will take the heal.
And
That's
hold on. Bear with me one moment. No, never mind. I'm good. Thank you.
All right. She's going to spend her turn getting up and haphazardly, because she's afraid, take out a crossbow that's next to her belt and attempt to fire it twice against the beast. 19 will miss. Second shot, 9 will miss. And then she'll attempt to repeat the saving throw against the fear, which is wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
She can burn her indomitable charge in order to re-roll that. And not much better. Still afraid. All right, isn't you're up?
All right, so I can't move towards it, correct?
Correct.
All right, well, I will stand up and I will just shoot my bow at him.
Okay, roll with disadvantage. I'm sorry. Did you say you can't, or you can't get up?
I can stand up. Yeah, I stood up and I just shot my bow at him.
Okay. All right. Yeah, 14 misses. The arrow flies wide. You try to steady your hand, but the large power of this beast is pretty intimidating, and the attack goes wide. No, you're still frightened. Kurt, before you go, this dragon is going to swing around and smack his tail back over towards Mary's direction. And does that hit? It does not. Mary just manages to raise, barely manages to block the attack before it lands.
Kurt, you're muted.
What?
No, I was just waiting on him to be
Oh.
done. Sorry.
Yep, you're good.
So I put Hunter's Mark on him earlier, right? I think I
Wrong.
did before I rolled my bow.
If you did, it wasn't linked.
I'm scrolling up. Yeah, no, I didn't link it. I remember that. I just see you didn't mark it. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to attack him with my...
Okay, so are you putting Hunter's Mark on him or no?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Then 17 will miss, 24 will hit. So you take your swords out as this creature begins to land pretty much right next to you. Frostbrand just manages to across the edges of its scales, but the pick from Iron Fang seems to chip away hard at one of the edges of it. Ka comes through with the bite, does not land.
Okay.
Alright. Teagan, you're up.
All right, so I'm blinded, right?
You are
So
blinded.
I have no idea that he moved or anything. Right?
Also, Dr. Connors, go ahead and repeat your wisdom save at the end of your turn.
All right, thanks.
No. Still afraid.
Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast that.
All right.
And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And then so
All right.
so what do I need to try to save?
So start with the. Go ahead and make a wisdom save against the frightened.
All right.
All right. You're no longer frightened of the beast.
Okay.
And then you'll need to make a con save against the blinded effect.
All right.
I'm just gonna move you up so I can see the tokens here for a second. All right. You're still blinded.
And I'm gonna use one of my lucky rolls. Reroll
Go
that.
for it.
What was that one again? Con save.
Mm-hmm. All right. You're no longer blinded either.
All right.
Alrighty. Talk QB up.
Um,
You're frightened, so you cannot move closer to the source of your fear.
I can't, can I?
Nope.
He's 25 away. 30 away.
I'm
I'm going to stand up.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to use my action to get rid of fear.
Go on.
Hang on.
There's some deep diving.
You heard the
That's
man. That fear's gone.
Is that better?
Yeah. All right. You use your action to end your fear.
And then I'm
Tapping back into
move.
your monk training, you still your mind.
I'm going to move. Fuck. I move. Use half my movement to get up. Hang on. So 25.
I was gonna say
No,
that's
I'm
some
gonna-
deep diving in the monk handbook there.
I'm going to go here and stop.
Okay. Next is the beast's turn. He's going to rear back, and you watch as green fluid begins to coalesce in his mouth.
Oh shit! I just remembered what kind of breath attack they have.
Let's see. Right over the two of you. As a shot of acid emanates from his mouth. I need Kurt and Kent, because you're frightened, you're going to make those, well, this is ability checks and attack rolls, so you make this normally, but just go ahead and make dex saves. Wicked fail. Kurt will need to make one when he gets back. Okay, go ahead and make your dex save.
Yeah, I was just trying to.
All right. The both of you, as this acid spills on top of you, take 58 points of acid damage.
I will adjust that.
And then Kent, you're up at the top of the round.
Hold on, still minusing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Um. Kent is going to move to here.
Mm-hmm.
And cast Cone of Cold. I believe it should reach him, but I'm not sure.
What's the radius?
I'll tell you in a second when I cast it.
Yeah, that'll hit him.
Yep.
Alrighty.
And if Dr. Connors is in the way, I'd like to spare him. And
Okay. He's going to burn a legendary resistance in order to save against that.
Sure thing.
So he only takes 15 points of cold damage, but he does get blasted by this cone.
Okay, fair enough.
He goes, "You are strong. Show me what you've got." And you can repeat your wisdom save at the end of your turn.
Yep.
All right, you are no longer frightened.
Awesome.
Ka is up next.
Ka's gonna bite the dragon in the butt.
Ka's going to bite the dragon in the butt. No, he's going to maybe try to nip the dragon's tail and doesn't quite get it.
Okay.
Like a playful cat trying to get a napkin tied around a piece of string. Will, you're up next.
Okay, Will is going to stay where he is, and he's going to pluck a calming tune and suggest to the dragon that look, this is completely unnecessary, and we should stop fighting and be reasonable.
All right.
Basically, I'm going to suggest he stops fighting.
Okay.
He gets disadvantage on the save.
This is wisdom save with disadvantage.
Fail.
What's your DC?
17.
Okay. He's going to burn his last legendary resistance to save against it. But he does shout, "We can switch to the trial of wit if you're willing, but you need to agree to it."
Agree to my fist! Sorry.
All right. Mary's going to again haphazardly take her light crossbow and attempt to fire it twice against this beast. Nope. And nope. She's going to burn a bonus action to second wind. 1d10 plus fighter. She is level 10. And she'll give herself 11 hit points back. And then she'll attempt to repeat the saving throw at the end of her turn. Does not have especially high wisdom, but she manages to shake the effect this time. Isn't you up?
Wacha!
Miss.
Alright, and there's that.
No.
I guess
Still frightened.
do I do disadvantage on the wisdom saving throw too?
No. 18 still fails, though.
Okay. Well, that's it then.
All right. End of your turn, he's going to burn a legendary action in order to smack his tail against Mary. Doing 20 points of bludgeoning damage against her. Dr. Connors, you're up.
I will yell to the dragon, "You're not the only one with transformative powers." As I begin to grow a little bit taller, and my scales begin to turn a brown color, and I'm going to cast Guardian of...
Ooh. Nature Spirit answers your call and transforms you into a powerful guardian. Choose Primal Beast or Great Tree. Which one are you
I
choosing?
chose Great Tree, clearly.
Great Tree? Alright. Your
Yeah.
skin appears barky, leaves sprout from your hair, and you gain the following benefits. 10 temporary hit points, con saves with advantage, This is your bonus action. You make Dex and Wisdom-based attack rolls with advantage. And while you're on the ground within 15 foot of you is difficult terrain for enemies.
Can you give me access to the animal under Dr. Connor that I can't drag the token out for? It's a surprise, don't ruin it.
You mean this giant crab that you've just dragged out in the middle of nowhere?
I did not mean to drag that out. No, the other one under that list that is right underneath the crab.
Hang on.
I could edit it, but I can't drag the token out.
The rust bag of tricks?
What? No,
Oh,
the
the
int.
Okay. I don't know why it's showing up as a plesiosaurus.
Yeah, because I edited the plesiosaurus, and now I can't drag the token out.
So what's it supposed to be?
Hold on, I'll just edit Sebastian.
It's just the avatar is the end. You didn't you didn't create a token that was actually supposed to be it.
Oh fuck. Okay, well it doesn't matter. I got it under control.
All right, drag out your funny little token. There you go. You're an
Awesome.
int.
I'm gonna attack with my.
What the fuck is that picture? What the fuck is that?
You're still afraid, and your attacks still have disadvantage.
Yeah, but when I'm an int, if it's a dex attack, it gets advantage, so therefore it attacks just normal.
Oh, Cutie looks like a little mini wheat. Looks like an angry little mini wheat.
27 hits. Go ahead and roll. Yeah, you're right. Alrighty. With your barky skin, you slice into him. Ka hits too. Yep. Alright, he still succeeds against the poison. Alright. He's...
What's up?
He is... If you're done for your turn?
Yeah, I need to do a wisdom save at the end. So okay.
Alright. Okay. At the end of your turn, he's going to beat his wings. He's going to do another wing attack. Everybody within 15 feet. Whoops. This is going to be... Tuck's just out of range. Isn't. But the rest of you are going to have... Isn't Ka and Kurt, as well as Mary, will have to make dex saves.
Now hold up real quick, though. Because last time I asked about 15 feet, and you put a giant circle on the floor, it wasn't actually 15 feet.
You're within 15 foot of the dragon.
Because we had a thing earlier where I was like, I'm within 15 feet. It was for a healing ring or something like that, and I did that right there. And you said it doesn't count because it wasn't within the circle of the ring of the spell that you laid on the...
You're a ring of the spell. Get hit by those wings, bitch.
It was within the radius of the sphere that was dragged out as part of the... I mean, if you really want to be specific about it...
Just put a 15-foot aura on the dragon. And then we can know.
Oops.
Or you can do that.
Well, actually, you would have to put... Can you put a 15-foot aura on the dragon?
Yeah, you just have to go...
Good, yeah. Hang on. That works too.
Or would you have to choose a bigger aura because of the size of the token?
It should go to the token to go around it.
It goes to the size of the token and then goes from 15 feet out of that.
There. You're just within range.
I don't see anything.
Yeah, I believe you, though. Have it on use. But it's fine. Dex save, right? Yeah.
Dex, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Christ.
Crit fail. You barely succeed. Yep. Ka doesn't. And I already rolled for Mary. She doesn't. All right. So, isn't you'll take half damage.
I take no damage.
You take no damage. The rest of you take 14 points. And this big fella's going to fly right up next to Teagan.
Do I get to attack him? Oh no, I'm probably
You're
knocked
knocked
down,
prone.
aren't I? Am I? Hold on.
If you fail to save, you're knocked prone.
Right. I was just seeing if my tree thing did anything for me. It
Like
doesn't.
if he held you into the ground.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh, he's probably just flying away. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
All right, Teagan, you're up. This big copper dragon, ancient copper dragon, flies right next to you.
Yeah, I just smile at him. So this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm excluding Will and myself from this. So this is going to affect Kent, Dr. Connors, Mary, Isn't, Tuck, and Ka. Yep, 6. And I will cast that.
All right.
That was the worst freaking roll for that damn spell ever.
So everybody
Wow.
except two?
Will and myself.
Okay. So everybody except for Will and yourself will get 11 hit points.
That was the worst roll ever for that. Okay. Well, whatever.
That could be worse.
As you get the cast off, this dragon, big dragon that fella next to you says, as an echoing boom kind of echoes out, "Your friends are powerful, and you support them strongly. Are they your strength, your might?"
I will look at them and say, their strength is not my might. Their friendship and their trust in me is the might.
All right.
And then as my bonus action, I am going to kind of look at him and then use hidden pass and go right here.
He blinks and then he looks around and says, "Clever. Very clever."
I'm not going to lie. I was expecting you to be total badass there and being like, no, nature's my strength. Suck it, bitch, and like unleash something.
No, because remember, I'm supposed to have trust in my friends.
I know, I got it, but it would have been funny.
All right. Tuck, you're up next.
Can I move here?
Sure. Miss.
Oh.
He blocks it with his tail.
Oh.
Huh.
He raises his broken fingernail to block the second strike. That barely hits. All right. You get one hard strike on him in a weak spot, and he kind of, you hear a physical grunt as it impacts. And then it's his turn. All right. Let's take a look at this. Nah, you know what? Let's just go for broke. He's going to turn in your direction, Tuck, and he's just going to make 3 strikes against you. First with his bites, then with his claws. Alright. You're going to start by taking 17 points of piercing damage from the bite. And then from the claws, a total of an additional 33 points of slashing damage. He shouts, "Once more! Let's see what you have!" Kent, you're up.
Okay. Do me a favor. Somebody just ping that spot that goes to. Just keep pinging it, so I'm losing track. Thank you. Keep going. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. I wish there was a way in the tool to keep track of that as you moved your token, but I don't know how to do it.
you can shift click. You can move and hit shift, and it will actually like record. Like watch, you can see this, and then I hit shift, and it'll keep it there. But sometimes I forget to do that. Like I'm
Oh.
not actually holding it right now.
I see.
Okay. Oh shit! I just closed my character sheet when I did that. Sorry. 1 second. Kent is going to. Okay, I'm going to cast slow.
Angry Many, who did this?
Who do you think? All right. You
On the-
cast slow on the dragon. He'll have to make a wisdom save.
Yep. Yeah, he beats it.
He is a wise ancient creature, and not a stranger to this kind of magic, it seems. Ka is up next.
Ka's gonna move towards the creature.
He is prone, so he has to burn half his movement.
That's fine.
Okay.
I still get there in 15.
All right.
Then with normal attack, I don't know why I rolled advantage.
11,
There you go.
11 misses.
All right,
No.
that's it.
At the end of his turn, the dragon is going to take his tail and slam it against Tuck.
I'd say
Tuck
that
takes
hit.
22.
Shoes untied.
Cutting words?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to cutting words at 32. Go for it.
Oh, did he roll a 32? Oh, shit. Never mind.
Will, go ahead.
Oh boy. All right. 2, 4, 6. Slide over this way, and pat about. Hey, if you're gonna act like a clown, you can dance like a clown. And start playing a jig on my no. Let's see. What kind of dance do I want to make him do?
It doesn't matter. He's gonna resist.
Well, no, he burned his last legendary resistance.
Oh, did he?
That you
Yes, he
know
did. On the suggestion that I cast last time. So, besides, he can't save until his action. Russian Cossack dance.
All right. Next to you, Tuck, you hear as this creature begins to dance. This large creature begins to dance next to you. Is large footfalls stomping, causing the very earth within the close radius of you to begin to kind of shatter. Excuse me.
As a bonus action, I'm going to give. I'm going to shout over to Tuck. Don't let his tail flip you off, and I'm going to provide him with bardic inspiration.
Okay. D10, right?
Yeah. So Tuck, you get a D10 you can throw out at will to just add to any roll.
Yeah.
All right. At the end of your turn, even while he's dancing, he's going to try to burn a legendary action. He'll do it with disadvantage because he's dancing to make another tail attack against Tuck. 20 still hit you? Yep.
Can I use cutting words?
Sure.
I will use
That'll be
cutting
your
words on
action.
that.
All right. That'll reduce it even if by 1, enough to where Tuck's able to block the attack.
Sweet.
Which is good because it would have knocked him unconscious otherwise. All right. Mary gets up and she's going to move right up next to the dragon with sword drawn, and she's going to slice furiously into him. First attack. Miss. Second attack. It's another. It is another 20. I should play a fighter, man. All right, roll 5d6. I kind of do. So 18 plus the 9 plus an additional 21.
48.
Okay. After she slices off another toe, and at this point the dragon cries out, "Enough! You have passed." Her voice changed back on. "You have passed. You've proven yourselves worthy." And it looks like and it looks like he's ready to stop combat. Mary steps back and begins to sheath her sword. Isn't what do you do?
I will put my weapon away.
Okay. Kurt?
What? Yeah, I'm not gonna attack him anymore. I'll stay a tree for a little while, though. I like this.
Sure. Teagan?
Angry mini wheat.
I am going to hit Tuck with this.
Ooh, alright.
Damn, nice.
And
Doesn't
that's
say
all
what the
I'm gonna
range is
do.
on that.
16
Dang.
feet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Double dang.
Tuck, do you sheath your shit?
Yes.
Captain?
What shit? I'm not casting.
Alright. If you choose, the combat ends, and
Nope.
he shifts back into a quite injured-looking elderly elf man who begins to kind of do what he can to tend to his wounds. And as he's looking at what looks to be two chopped fingers on one of his hands, Mary will step forward, will pull something out of her pack, and hand it to this old elf, who will thank her profusely, begin to drink it. And you'll watch as two tiny little baby fingers begin to kind of sprout from where his fingers had been severed before. And he says, "You've certainly proven strong enough." Mary will say, "Maybe we should take a nap here before we go on into the blistering cold."
I agree with that.
100%.
The elderly elf, now clearly a copper dragon, says, "You are welcome to take a rest nearby." And for the sake of ease, just to keep this simple, he will lead you to a nearby comfortable location in which you can rest and recuperate. You can get yourselves the benefits of a large rest. Because we're running out of time, what I'll say is give yourselves the benefits of a large rest, and as we go into next week's session, you will move from the summer forest into the winter hills of the Feywild.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
All right.
Coolness.
Well, I'm glad she was there to defeat that dragon for us.
Oh my
Yeah, I know,
god.
Killi, have you ever rolled that many crits when you were attacking as the boss?
I've never rolled that many crits in one night ever. And to think I do it with a fucking Vorpal greatsword.
I assume the only reason that he's still alive is because he was an important character somewhere.
Well, I didn't want it to just die because I happened to get lucky on a crit with that thing.
Fair enough.
He was in truth, he was really too large in order to simply lose his head like that, even with a Vorpal weapon. But seriously, the first time and I get 2 crits out the gate, it's like if I threw any other sort of big bad against you and a minion, the fight would be over like that.
Like I said, far cry from Moopy or Meepo or whoever.
Meepo.
No, the gnome. I can't remember.
Turns out
Meepo,
turns out Tuck's sister is a real badass.
That's right.
Apparently, much more so than Tuck.
Runs in the family.
She's the older sister, I
guys.
take it.
I'm off to bed. Have a good night.
Actually, she's quite younger.
Good night, guys.
Night, Sloan.
Later,
Night,
bud.
man.
Hey,
Later.
who was it that said they had the secret lab chair?
Oh, I do.
Oh, okay. Would you? I mean, again, I am looking to buy a chair.
I have no complaints about it, and it really depends on what kind of money you're willing to spend. But they do.
I gotta log off. I'll talk to you guys later. Sorry.
Yeah, no
Yep,
problem.
Good night, Killy.
There, Kaylee.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.